All right, let's get right into it. Picture this: your future, your livelihood, your whole ability to work, being decided by a rule book that was written before the first Star Wars movie ever came out. I know, it sounds like science fiction, but it's not. It's happening right now, in real life, in courtrooms all over the country.
And that brings us to this really wild question. How in the world can a manual from 1977, a time of rotary phones and typewriters, mind you, possibly define what a job is like in 2026? In our world of algorithms and automation.
Okay, this slide just perfectly sums up the problem. Let's take the job of a marker. Back in '77, the manual says this is someone using a hand press, physically stamping prices on stuff. Simple enough. But fast forward to today, a marker is working in a massive fulfillment center with a radio frequency scanner that is tracking their every single move. The job title's the same, but the job itself, it's from a completely different planet.
So what is this ghost from 1977 we keep talking about? Well, it's a book called The Dictionary of Occupational Titles, or the DOT for short. And unbelievably, this nearly 50-year-old book is a key piece of evidence in modern Social Security disability hearings.
You heard that right. The main guide being used to decide if someone can work today was last seriously updated in 1977. Just think about that for a second. Every single technological leap we've made in the last half-century, the internet, computers, smartphones, automation, none of it is in this book.
So what actually happens when you take these time capsule job descriptions from 1977 and try to apply them to a real, modern-day workplace? Well, the disconnect it's just staggering. This table just lays it all out so clearly. Back in '77, jobs like marker or router were all about manual work, at a human pace. You had a supervisor who might, watch you work. But in 2026, those same jobs are now run by algorithms. Your pace isn't up to you, it's set by software, and your every second is being monitored by sensors. And that leads us to the single biggest thing that the 1977 manual completely, totally misses: the all-seeing algorithm. You see, in a lot of modern warehouses, your real boss isn't even a person. It's a productivity tracker. Which brings us to this crucial concept, time off task, or TOT. And let's be clear, we're not talking about your scheduled breaks here. TOT is a metric that tracks every single second you are not actively scanning an item or moving a box. A quick run to the bathroom, stretching your back for a moment, even a quick chat with a coworker. It's all being logged. And get this, the margin for error is razor thin. In a lot of these places, if you accumulate just 30 minutes of time off task over an entire day, that can be enough to get you fired. The human need for just tiny little pauses is completely at odds with what the algorithm demands. But the story doesn't end there. There's a plot twist. A new rule has come out that gives people a powerful way to fight back against this totally outdated system. And it's a real game changer, because it forces the whole conversation into the 21st century. So here's the deal. Before, the experts in these hearings could just say their opinion was based on their experience. But now, under a new Social Security ruling, their evidence has to be reliable. It's just one word, but as you're about to see, that one word changes everything. So what does reliable actually mean? Well, it means these experts can't just point to a 1977 book and call it a day anymore. They have to use modern data, they have to explain their math, and, this is the big one, they have to account for the fact that technology has made a lot of these old jobs totally obsolete. The burden of proof has finally shifted. This new rule basically opens the door for lawyers and advocates to go on the attack and challenge this 1977 fiction with some really smart, targeted questions that expose just how different the modern workplace really is.
For instance, a question like this one. It forces the expert to actually deal with the algorithm. It shifts the conversation away from some theoretical, easy-paced job into the real world of sensor monitoring and, automated firings.
This question is just brilliant because it uses the book's age against itself. It's basically saying, okay, you're citing a 50-year-old description. So where's your proof, your modern proof, that this job even exists that way anymore? It demands current, real-world evidence.
And this one really gets at the whole idea of transferable skills. It just exposes the huge gap between old-school manual labor and the kind of digital skills you need just to survive in a modern workplace that's driven by metrics. The skills just don't line up anymore.
So the takeaway here is pretty clear, right? A manual written in 1977 is absolutely no match for an algorithm built for 2026.
In these hearings that literally decide people's futures, demanding reliable, modern evidence isn't just a clever legal tactic, it's absolutely essential to get a fair outcome.
And that leaves you with this final thought to chew on. This is just one example of an outdated system having a huge impact on our modern lives. So what other parts of our world, from how we learn, to how we build things, to our laws, are still being run by rules from a time that basically doesn't exist anymore?